As part of Ferrari Fridays, William Ross from the Exotic Car Marketplace will be discussing all things Ferrari and interviewing people that live and breathe the Ferrari brand. Topics range from road cars to racing, drivers to owners, as well as auctions, private sales, and trends in the collector market.
And welcome back to the Ferrari Marketplace podcast, presented by the Exotic Car Marketplace. For everything exotic cars from Ferrari and Porsche, Lamborghini, and Koenigsegg, the Motoring Podcast Network. Check out the family of automotive podcasts at motoringpodcast.net. If you're into anything with wheels and a motor, this is the site to check out. And slot mods from Dave Beatty and his team up there in Detroit for the coolest slot car tracks in the world. Check out slotmods.com and let your imagination run wild. And Gran Touring Motorsports, covering all aspects of auto racing. And be sure to check out the monthly e-zine at gtmotorsports.org. All the links are posted up in the description. So we're talking about Cavalino 2025 today in this episode, this podcast, or whatever you like to call it. So as usual, January is Cavalino time down in Palm Beach, Florida. And interesting enough, this year the weather was a bit crappy. It was cold, and as everyone knows that's lived here in this country, what's going on, California is burning to the ground, but then actually the southern United States was into a freeze. I mean, something they rarely see, but it's becoming more and more common, but they're just not equipped for it. So there were some people that we knew were supposed to come down from Georgia and some of those surrounding areas, and they couldn't even leave their house. The roads were just impassable. They couldn't even come down. I mean, unbelievable. So, and down in Florida, I got the whole story I'll go into here real quick. Florida was cold. Here's the thing. I was leaving. My flight was Wednesday morning. Last Wednesday, what was that, January 20, whatever it was, or whatever that day was. It was -4 here in Cleveland. It was cold. We get to the airport, our flight starts getting delayed. My flight in total got delayed 5 hours. But here's the thing. I flew Frontier, which I rarely ever do. It was the only way I could get a direct flight. United was just asking for an astronomical amount of money to go direct, and then trying to do something reasonable was going to be changing flights either in Chicago or Houston or somewhere. It was like, I'm not doing that. So I'll just fly Frontier. It's a direct flight. How bad could it be, right? Oh, well, it was bad. First it was they had to warm the plane up because the ground crew from the night before and that just didn't do what they were supposed to do in hooking things up. Well, then it turns out that the toilet lines for the waste and everything were frozen solid. So I guess they couldn't have that. So they were trying to do whatever they could with that to try and warm up, get it up. Because also it was about also filling up the plane with potable water. So that was the other problem. So you just couldn't do it. After about 2 hours, they moved the gate and get a new plane. Now, in the meantime, other Frontier flights are leaving from the airport. Whatever's going on, who knows? But we actually kind of came to the conclusion, we think it really wasn't a lot of maintenance stuff. It was more, hey, they just didn't have the crew to handle it. They didn't have the stewards or the pilots or whatever. Because all of a sudden we get to the new plane, new gate, same exact thing. Oh, pilots got to warm the plane up. It's cold. So this should take, half hour. Then same thing. Well, the lines are froze, So same crap. 5 hours later, we finally get off and take off. So -4, I mean, it was freezing here in Cleveland, just bitter cold. So it got down to Florida. It wasn't actually that bad. It was kind of nice, It's better than -4. But it was in the mid-50s, high 50s, something like that, or low 60s. So obviously, hey, I'll take it compared to -4. So it wasn't bad. So Thursday, same thing. It was high 50s, low 60s. Still not bad. But Friday, it was cold. It was in the low 50s all day. And the other problem was it was raining. There was rain going on Wednesday and Thursday. Not so much Friday, but the problem is you have Cavallino, it's at the Breakers Hotel, and they have it on the golf course. Part of the course, it's in front of the hotel. So it's like, are they going to let these cars drive on the course? Obviously, they have an unbelievable drainage system and everything there. I was a bit surprised they did. Onward, because I did a few other things, too, that were really cool. We checked out Anthony Laurel's. If you don't know, check out hotshoestudios.com. He creates some most unbelievable artwork. A lot of Ferrari-related stuff, everything like that. He does some really, really cool stuff. So we checked out his shop, went over to Ferrari Palm Beach, met up with my buddy Bud Root, who's been there forever. And I got to give a big shout-out to Bud. I'm not sure how many of you follow or aware, but I'm a big animal advocate. I volunteer and help out at a few animal shelters in this area. And Bud's been actually taking care of this kitty named Blondie for, 15 plus years, he said. Taking her, got her neutered, because that's one little trick for you guys. If you see a feral cat or a cat running around outside, if its ears clipped at the top, so it's like flat, that means they got fixed. So, but Bud's been taking care of it. This cat shows up like clockwork twice a day to get fed. And he feeds her, and just kudos to him. My heart goes out. This is why Bud's such a good guy. So we checked out Ferrari at Palm Beach. They had some cool stuff. They had a little hidden gem up on the second floor, because it's a two-story showroom, I guess you could say, is they had a 812 Competition up there in this one-of-one color. It was Rosso double barrel. It was so cool. It was like a really deep, almost like a root beer, maroonish chair. I mean, gorgeous color. Sweet, sweet car. Anyways, off market. So if you're looking for a car, let me know. Looking for an 812 comp, hey, I can get my hands on two. Because they're a bit pricey at that one. They're at 1.8. Actually, I know of another one that's got less miles. It's a 2024, whereas that one at Ferrari Palm Beach is 2023. But a 2024 one with 54 miles, something like that, I think it was red exterior color, 1.5. So I can save you $300,000 if that's how my public school math works. But anyways, this whole time I'm getting ready to go to Cavalino. I'm not sure if you ever looked or aware of it, but it was $480 a ticket to attend this event. Yeah, you heard me right. $480 for one person just to go. And that was for the one day. That's just for one day, to Saturday. It's a multi-day event. There's stuff going on Sunday, too. So if you'd had to buy another ticket for that, I think it was another couple $100. Freaking highway robbery. And here's the thing. Cavalino used to be run, almost like how Amelia was. It was more like kind of family or whatnot, small group run it, everything like that, Ferrari enthusiasts, yada, yada. Well, they sold out to Canusa Events. Well, Canusa Events basically almost tripled the price of the tickets. When I first started going, tickets were like $120, which is reasonable. That's great. $480 this year for a ticket. So I kept dragging my feet. It's like, I really didn't want to spend $480 to go and see stuff that I could probably finagle my way to see for free anyways. But, I mean, the one key thing and that kind of put me over that, hey, I got to go, is I found out that the F80 was going to be there. That's one thing I was like, I got to go. I kept dragging my feet, though. Come Friday night, we go out to dinner. Me, Dave Beatty from Slot Mods, and this one gentleman, John Romano, super cool guy, vintage racer. He's got some gorgeous cars. Went out to dinner. I got back to my hotel, I don't know, it was 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I was like, well, I guess I got to suck it up and buy a ticket. Sold out. Okay, I guess the universe is telling me that I guess I shouldn't be going to this or something or spending that money. I'm like, all right, I live with it because, like, you know what? I can do whatever. I'll figure it out. If you watch the video up on my YouTube channel at Garage 65, you'll see it's a little more in-depth. So anyways, last year I did this. I went to the event. But in the morning, I had gotten up and I just went and checked out all the cars getting unloaded, getting them driven over, doing that kind of stuff, setting up. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do that. So like around 6:30 a.m., got up, I went up to the Breakers Hotel, got myself parked up, started walking around. I went over to the one main area where they kind of do a lot of unloading. Now there's a big parking lot, obviously, for the Breakers Hotel where they already had a lot of the cars staged up. I think they set them up the night before, whatever. So I went where a lot of the trailers were at for dropping off the cars and getting them set up. So I was checking it out. So I'm like, well, all right, really not much is happening. There was a cool F40 LM that I was hoping was going to get unloaded when I was standing there, and I kind of dicked around, and it never got unloaded. So I didn't even know if it got into the show field. So I walk over to the hotel, and obviously they're setting up. Cars are driving up. I just walked right onto the field, which was awesome. Like, okay, cool. The F80 was there. It was still partially covered, so I was like, maybe I might not get to see it completely, whatever. But hey, I got to see part of it, right? So I started walking around, taking tons of video, taking lots of photos, checking out all the cars. This year's special was the F50 they're giving tribute to. So there's just tons and tons of F50s coming on. And down the road, I got to get set up. I'm waiting to hear back from the people at Gentleman's Garage, Tom Flory, something. I think that's his name. If you watch his channel, he's got some gorgeous stuff. He just picked up these Giallo F50, which there was only 7 made F50s, I think, in yellow. 33 worldwide. Super nice guy, so I talked to him a bit. Saw JR from GT Motorcars, he was there. I saw a bunch of other people and talked to people, got some other things set up, so it wasn't bad. It's nice because it's low-key at this point in time because it's just these guys setting the cars up. A majority of them are either A, they work for the owner, and they're handling the car up there. So there's a down-to-earth dude that, hey, they're just doing their job, getting set up. So, you shoot the breeze with them, you chit-chat and check things out and talk and everything like that. Or you got the guys, that's the only Ferrari they have, and it's their baby. we're not talking some little 1979 or 1983 or 08 or anything like that. They got some nice stuff. A couple 512s, some older stuff. Like there was a 212 Export. There's some beautiful stuff. There was actually this one gorgeous 1-2 to set up. I got to give a shout out to Hugh Angle. Hugh, I'll send you the link for this. You can listen up. And I can never pronounce their entity. They have 2 showrooms. They got one here down in Miami, but they also have one over in Germany. Shoutouts. I don't know if I was pronouncing that right, but it's SCHALTKULISSE. They're at 277 Northeast 61st Street in Miami, Florida. If you're down there, definitely go check out the showroom. They get some really cool stuff. Hugh is a super nice guy. I'm trying to get him to come on the show, but he had a customer's car there that they just got restored. They got it painted back to the factory color that it was. It was like this icy blue, and then they did the blue interior, which I just absolutely love. I guess at some point in time in the life, it was a Dino, by the way. I apologize. Some point in time in its life, someone had painted it red and did tan interior, everything like that. Went to that standard, hey, red tan, which, yeah, as far as that, I prefer colors. Yeah, red's a color. I hate light colored interior. I hate tan interior. I like dark colored interiors. Red, black, this blue, dark blue, gorgeous. Ferrari does this gorgeous dark blue. They have on a 360 is more prevalent, not so much on a 430s, but they got a dark blue that's just absolutely stunning. I'm horrible at saying the factory calls these colors. I am absolutely terrible. My brain does not work that way in remembering all these different names and all these kind of stuff for the color. It's blue, it's yellow, it's red. I know they have these fancy names for it. There's tons of guys out there can just rattle this stuff off. They walk up and they say, oh, it's da-da-da-da-da. My brain doesn't work that way. I had a lot of fun in college. I killed a lot of brain cells. My brain just can't store that information that way. So I call it as I see it. I own up to it. What can you do? Gorgeous, gorgeous Dino. I mean, just stunning Dino. And again, huge, super nice guy. So I'm walking around, talking to some other people, and you don't have your pretentious pricks there yet because they're all just sitting there getting all dressed up and coming and hanging out at the event. They're preening and just peacocking around and stuff like that because that's what you're going to find. A lot of these people do at these events. Not so much going and checking out the car and stuff. They're just there to peacock. Just there to say, hey, look at me. They're holding court. They got these people all around them that are kissing their ass because they're the hanger-ons or whatnot. And they stroke this person's ego so they keep them hanging around. It's pretty pathetic. I don't get that. I mean, if you don't want to hang out with me because if you like hanging out and having some fun, that is just ain't me. I'm not there to kiss your ass. And you get a lot of these people that got a lot of money. That's all they're looking for. And then they want to treat you like shit. They want to make themselves feel better, so they cut you down. And so you just laugh and giggle, and think it's funny and stuff like that. Not my cup of tea. I do not do that. That's just not how I live my life. If you can't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. But anyways, I snuck in, so I saved myself the $480, which, woohoo, that's fantastic. And it started warming up, so it was getting nice. Kind of a side note, too. I actually have my dates kind of screwed up, and I was actually supposed to fly back on Saturday, and I messed up, so I changed my flight back to Sunday, which kind of worked out well because when I got done, I was able to get some other stuff accomplished, which helps out my other little side endeavor I help out with, which is ACBC, which is aluminum cans for burn children. We help support pediatric burn survivors by working with over 100 local fire stations and departments, collecting aluminum cans and donations and everything like that. We do events to raise money, and we send them to camp a couple times a year and do whatever else we can for them. Check it out. It's acbcohio.org. You can get all the information. It's really cool. If you want to donate, hey, there's a link on there to donate too as well. So I'm walking around, they're doing all the setup, which is cool because it's not crowded. And I was able to get a lot of cool video. And when I first walked onto the field, I was expecting within 5 minutes to get kicked off because I was like looking around to see if someone had badges or anything like that or kind of a lanyard with a tag or a badge on it. No one did. So everyone's just coming in, walk around, getting stuff. It's like, all right, I'm good. I mean, it crossed my mind like, well, hey, I could probably just hang out and just not have to worry about it. But here's the problem, how the layout is. One, this is at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. The event didn't start till 10. So I really don't feel like hanging out there that long. Once you see all the cars, you go through them, you talk to, you needed to talk to, who I wanted to talk to and everything like that. I was good. They don't get hundreds and hundreds of cars at this event. It's probably about 75 cars maybe, if that, maybe 65 cars. So, I mean, it's not like you got to spend all day like you're at Amelia or something like that, or say Moda, where you got tons and tons of cars, and it's going to take you all day to go through and see them all. So they have everything lined up nice. They kind of go, I'm going to say by year, make, model, that kind of stuff. So they kind of have them all clustered together. There was a really cool little cluster of cars that we had a 512M, where they had a few yellow cars. And again, shout out to JR. They had a party, which I didn't get invited to. It was on a Wednesday. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to attend to it because my flight was late. He had a cool party, but they had a lot of the Giallo collection of cars. There was a 550, 512M, I think a 512TR, a 575 Super America, I think it was, as well. So they had some sweet yellow cars, a little cluster grouping of them. And I'm a huge fan of the 512M and the 512TR. I mean, I think it's great. So it's final iterations of the Testarossa. I kind of almost prefer the 512TR over the 512M because the 512M went with the flush headlights. They tweaked it up a little bit. They tightened it up a little bit, a little more, I say, racy for the street. Still a gorgeous looking car. You know, it's a different look. That's why I like the 512TR a little bit better because it still has the pop-up lights. It just, the car is more crisp compared to like a Testarossa from your 85s to your 90, 91. Something about it, if you park next to it, you can tell the difference. There's a little more crisp on the line, something about it, but 512TR is a fabulous car. Love to be able to get my hands on one day. That would be one to go tooling around. You can do some Gran Touring in that. I mean, do some road trips. Comfortable V12, just putter along. Testarossa, yeah, you can do the same thing with it, but I'd love to get my hands on a 512TR. But anyways, you know, they had some gorgeous stuff. One thing, because it's climbing up in value, and that is a 458 Special. They had a couple of those there. So if you've been following market trends with that car is going through the roof, and it's only going higher. If you have the means and the way to do it, go buy a 458 Special. They're going to be $750,000 in that neighborhood, maybe $600,000. So they're not cheap. They are not cheap at all, especially on a really good car that's got history. It's got all the paperwork, documentation, like that. That car is unbelievable. Got your last naturally aspirated V8 in the Ferrari. It just screams. You put a good exhaust on that thing. Oh, my God, it's a symphony. They have some of those there. Like I said, you know, again, they don't have a ton of the newer stuff. It's all the older stuff that they seem to focus on. So, which is cool. I love the new stuff. It's great, but, you know, I'm more towards the older stuff. You know, again, the 512TRs, the Testarossas, the 550s, the 575s. That stuff's just beautiful. They had some gorgeous 355s there, which is another one I love to get my hands on. And that's another one that's going through the roof. Creeping up, it's holding its value, that's for sure. But those are the ones, your 355, your 360, and your 430, your 575s. You can save yourself a ton of money. None's like a factory manual. They can say, oh, yeah, EAG, everything like that. They do this great kit, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a couple other manufacturers out there starting to step up to create these kits for them, and they're getting better and better. And, yeah, you probably really wouldn't notice this. It's there. It's just a mental thing. And I want to give a shout-out to Granbury Hall Performance. They are stepping up their game here soon. I don't know if they're starting yet, but I know they were working on it to become like your Midwest connection to get your six-speed swaps done on Ferraris. I don't know if they're going to step up and do the Lambo stuff that's starting to pop up on Mercedes and stuff like that, because I know EAG, I guess, built an incredible six-speed conversion kit for the Lamborghinis as well, which means, because again, that's a situation. I know we're supposed to be talking Ferraris, but again, that's a scenario where a factory manual Murcielago is twice, if not three times the money as compared to the E-Gear. So you could get yourself an E-Gear, save a crap load of money, and then just do a six-speed swap for 50, 60 grand. Maybe even if it's a little bit more, you're still saving 150, 100 grand. I mean, you're saving a lot of money. A little sidebar, I don't know if any of you guys watch it, but Mr. JWW, James, he stumbled across and bought, because he did the gumball he did, or I don't know, he was over, or no, I'm sorry, it was for Pebble Beach. He hung out with the DDE boys, and Damon Fryer let him drive his Murcielago the whole week, all the way up from down in SoCal, all the way up to Pebble Beach. And he just fell in love with it, screaming it's a factory manual car. So he says, I got to get one. Somehow, some way, he found I want to say it was a right-hand drive, Murcielago, E-Gear, but it had like 100 miles on it. And I guess, you know, he said, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to put the swap in it, all this stuff. And I guess he just got blasted about that because people are like, don't do that to that car. I mean, and just getting, you know, offers out and anything. So I'm curious to see what he ends up doing that. But anyways, we got a little off sidetrack there. Started talking about Lamborghinis. Back to the show field. It's really cool in this situation about doing the setup, because I had not ever done that before. I said I went over last year and probably just watched them unload. I never really, hey, let's check them out, driving the cars up on the field and everything, getting that kind of set up. So this was really neat. Now, the one way this is set up, kind of going back to my comment earlier, you have your lower level where the golf course is. Then you have an upper level where it is like they have a little practice putting green, that kind of stuff. So it's like when you walk out of the hotel, there's a little practice putting green area. So they park up a bunch of cars up there. It's all usually the very older stuff that's significant, i.e. 250 GTO right up front, which I had the pleasure of really kind of getting up and close and personal with. It was Jeff Fisher's car. We were at a party Thursday night with that, and then the next day hung out with the gentleman that did the restoration. He was doing some detail work on it. Stunning car. Brian Ross had his 250 Testarossa there. Unbelievable car. I missed the opportunity to meet and talk with him and trying to get him to participate in Rockin' Revs. So I got to talk with Paige at his office again. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something, and he walked by. It's total, and I'm kicking myself in the ass about that because he's right up here in Ohio with us out there by Youngstown, so it's like perfect. And yes, we have the same last name, and no, we're not related. Now, I don't know if he's got the same lineage and going back to Scotland like I do, but that would be kind of cool. But seemed like a super nice guy. I just missed the opportunity, which sucks. So hopefully I get another chance one of these days to meet him, speak with him, and see what we can do. If not, I guess maybe I'll have to wait again until next year for Cavallino. He's got an unbelievable collection of Ferraris. Ultimate goal, getting a private tour of his collection of Ferraris because he's got his 1/250 he has. One, like, you have all your concourse events. Stella, or God, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. You have all your concourse events. You have the big ones. So all the cars that went best in showing that, they go to Villa d'Este, and so it's like basically the winner is the best of the best. And then they pick one of that. And his car won, was it this past in 2024? Huge win. That's significant for that car. So up top, that's where it is. But here's the thing is you have to walk out off of the lower show field and walk back into there. So you have to have your little wristband thingy to get it because you walk out and back in. So it's not like you can just kind of walk all around. There's a path like that. So I was like, oh, crap, am I even going to be able to get up there? So I walked around a bunch in the lower level, checking out the cool stuff, which I'm going to come back to in a second. Luckily, still setting up, I was able to go up there. But when going up from the show field up there, walking towards the hotel, Ferrari themselves actually set up a bunch of the new cars. And they had the new 12-cylinder there. It's a love-hate thing, but this one they had there, either check out my Instagram or check out the YouTube channel, in this green. It was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. In that car in person, it's absolutely beautiful. I know there's a lot of people that are knocking and hating on it, but like I said, this thing was absolutely stunning. I thought it looked gorgeous in the screen. Absolutely beautiful. Then they had their obligatory, they had the 296, had their, was it the Portofino now, whatever the hell they're calling, the California Spider. But this is when they had the F80, and thankfully, they took off the cover of it, and they were starting to set up. They were putting a little barrier around it, everything like that, so they were getting it all, making it look pretty. And I got to say, that car is unbelievable in person. The pictures don't do it justice seeing it online. It's one of those cars you have to see in person. Oh, my Lord, is it gorgeous. I mean, it's just stunning. This thing is low. God, it's low to the ground. I mean, roof height, I can't imagine. It might come up to your hip. So cool. And that thing is wide. That is a very wide car. This thing was absolutely beautiful. Seeing that thing in person, seeing how all the arrows working on it and everything like that, I would have loved to if they would have started up, but that didn't happen. But it was just so cool to see that. And so that was mission accomplished. That's what I wanted to see was that F80. That thing was awesome. So I got to tell you, if you get the chance to go see this thing in person somewhere, go see it. Even if you got to drive a few hours, go see it. It's unbelievable. It is a great car. I know it got knocked a lot and all this compared. Oh, it's got the V6 or that. It still has over 1,000 horsepower. Was it almost 1,200 horsepower with the V6 and electric motors and that stuff? Yeah, a V12 and NA V12 in there screaming would have been perfect. But packaging-wise and everything like that, it works. Just let's say it works. Let's go, for example, here, the Ford GT. Everyone's blasted them. How can you put the V6 in their stuff? That car's still holding its own, and it's double what its sticker price was. It's still holding it, and that car's unbelievable as well. So, again, don't knock it. Try it. If you listen to my last podcast episode, we were talking about allocations with F80. And I think people see it in person because that's a conversation I had. People want to physically see it. And I know some like, oh, I want to drive it first. I don't know if that's going to happen, but, if you got enough money, anything can happen. But that was cool to see that. I checked out the Pearl Sangway. They had one there. Obviously, it's been out for a while now. I'm curious to see. I'm not sure when the V8 version of that's going to come out. So I'm curious to see what happens with that because these have all been the 12-cylinder versions. Ferrari Palm Beach had one. It was $750,000. Crazy money for an SUV. I mean, the thing's unbelievable. Yes, I'd love to have one. Who wouldn't? I would love to do some cross-country drive in that thing. Just have some fun with it. But $750,000. But I got to sit in it there, which was cool. That's the first time I got to sit in one. One of these days, I want to get someone to let me drive one. I got to get a hold of a client. I know he took delivery one recently, so I need to butter him up, go see if he let me drive it. But anyways, this is when I went up top. Thank God they're still setting up. Cool thing is Santino Ferrucci, yes, the IndyCar driver. One side note, that boy is small and short. If he weighs 140 pounds, I'd be shocked. Muscle around that Indy car, thank God they got power steering and this, power that, everything like that, because this he's not a big dude. And again, hey, it's weight savings. But anyways, he came tooling in with JR's. Now, I don't know if it's his in inventory or it's just probably a client's, but the 599XX. And you want to talk about something that sounds mean? Oh, again, check out my Instagram or check out the YouTube channel. You should hear that thing rumble. Oh, my Lord. It was so cool. So cool. Him pulling in again, I'd love to hear that thing at full chat. It would be unbelievable just to hear that thing ripping down the road. I could only imagine. Listen. Is that cool or what? That's just a short one. There's a longer one when he's putting in, but like I said, that thing just sounded unbelievable. They had probably about 3/4 of the cars up top. Like I said, Brian Ross had his car there. Jeff Fisher's 250 GTO was actually outside of where it was, so that was kind of just out in the open. Because again, they have it set up. You walk out in this putting green, it's roped off, so that's how you got to get in. You got to have your little wristband that you paid $480 frickin' dollars for. But then you got your outside area. They have a beautiful courtyard. This is what kills me. $500 to these people, that's nothing. That's like they probably changed it. That's nothing to these people. They could care less. So again, they're like holding court. And then, I'm not going to name names because I know who they are. I had the opportunity to meet a couple of these people, and they basically turn their nose up because, they think their shit don't stink. One of those things is like, come on, give it up. I cannot stand people like that. You were blessed. Here's the funny thing. You can tell the difference between someone that is self-made and created their wealth by busting their ass or someone that won the sperm lottery. Because it's just, they've grown up in this scenario. It's just, again, they think their shit don't stink. It's just unbelievable. Seeing some of these people. Like the one person that, again, he's one of those ones, he thinks he's high almighty. He's sitting at this little cluster, one couch thing and tables around it. He's sitting there and all these people around him, you can tell they're all just kissing his ass. And, he just got, I'll say ignoring them, but it's like one of the scenario where you can see someone's like talking to him and he's just looking past them. Because he's like, I can't be bothered with you. You're not important enough. No, he's looking for that important person to talk to because he feels you're not important enough. And there's a ton of these people. They're peacocking. I get it. It's a Ferrari event. You should dress, nicely. But, you got these people dressed to the nines. Some people like me, I was wearing my T-shirt. I'm just loud and proud. I was wearing my Exotic Marketplace hoodie because this is in the morning. So once I got done checking everything out, I walked around and everything, got that stuff after setup. It's like, well, okay, I got some time because the other cool thing is the parking lot is unbelievable. The parking lot itself could have been a show. So I went back to my hotel for a little bit to relax and everything like that. I was like, all right, relax for a couple hours. I did a bunch of posts and whatnot on my social medias. So then I came back after the event started, and it was pretty crowded. So maybe it was sold out. I don't know if that was a marketing ploy or something like that. It just seemed weird, though, that on Friday night before I went out to dinner at 6 o'clock or whatever it was, when I went to go leave my hotel room, there were still tickets. Then when I came back, no tickets. It seems to be they might just be kind of doing a marketing ploy that says, oh, no, we're sold out. So they can say, we sold out. There weren't that many people. It was not sold out. I doubt it highly. So I went back after the event had started and meandered around. Obviously, I couldn't go on the show field. I'd already seen all the cars, so I really didn't care. And so I ran into a few other people, chit-chatted, and I was checking out what the auctions, they do the silent auction and stuff. And it was crazy. I could not believe how many, I don't say timeshare rentals, but like luxury villa rentals they had that were up for auction. Like one was, the minimum bid was $17,000. And they had one that was like in Croatia, another one that was Belize or I don't know. They had like 5 different auction items that were for these villas out wherever. Unbelievable. They had a lot of other cool stuff, some cool posters, everything like that. So a lot of neat stuff. The cheapest thing, I think, was $500, starting opening bid. Be curious to see how all that played out and what was sold. And I'm sure someone grabbed those villas because all those people have very deep pockets. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. But anyways, again, they had some really cool stuff that was up there for your auction items. So that was neat to see. And again, walk around, but kind of going back to how people were dressed. It warmed up. It was in the low 70s by this time. So it's warm. I have my T-shirt on and jeans. I'm wearing my Ferrari-Marketplace.com T-shirt. Wearing it proudly, sporting the brand, going around just checking things out. But what kills me is you have these women that attend. You can tell they're either husband hunting or doing God knows what. They're wearing heels. When I mean heels, I mean massive, tall heels. You're walking on grass, lady. Give it up. They're just dressed to the nines. You kind of say, okay, trying to snag themselves a trophy. And then it's always funny. Someone walk around, especially you see a lady that's in her 30s or maybe even 40s, but then she's walking around with some dude in his 70s. Married, you can see they got the wedding rings and everything like that. And no, it's not his daughter. You can just tell by how they interact. just a total gold digger, and he doesn't care. Trophy wife for him. Unbelievable stuff. It's always fun to sit down for a little bit and just do a little people watching because you see some really funny stuff and you just laugh going, oh my God. It's like she must have to drink a crap load of booze and make him hurry up or something because get a fluffer or something for her husband so she's only got to go in there for the last like 30 seconds and then done with it because it's unbelievable but how much money can blind someone and just how much someone's willing to put up with and tolerate because they want to have that lifestyle. Unbelievable. Out to the parking lot, which is unbelievable out there as well. F50, F40, a Bugatti Veyron. Unbelievable stuff in lineup of just cars out in the parking lot itself. So, I mean, that was cool in its own right, just checking that stuff out. It was really neat to see because, again, they're just parked there. You can get up close, check things out, look in the windows, everything like that. So it was really, really cool. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I checked it all out. Like I said, it's something that's really cool to go to and attend if you can get in for free. But if you're ever in that area around that time Cavallino's going on, definitely just go there and you don't even have to go in. You can just hang out on the outside because you can see the field and you can see everything from everywhere walking around. You can check things out. You just can't walk right up on the cars. But like I said, that 250 GTO, which was a Series 2, one of the 3 original Series 2 built from the factory, not one Series 1 that got rebodied. That was just out, so anyone could walk up and check it out. But it's definitely worth to go check it out if you're a Ferrari fan especially. You see some really, really unbelievable cars that you rarely ever get to see. Then it's neat because one, like, hey, if you're watching setup, you get to see them actually in motion, moving, hear them running, everything like that. So, which is really cool. But all in all, like I said, it's well worth it to go. I mean, it was a good time. Me and Dave had a really good time. I was hanging out with Mr. Beatty from Slot Mods. We enjoyed ourselves thoroughly. The few days, we were down there. He said we hit up Jeff Fisher's invite-only party, which is really cool. You got to check out because, again, his collection's unbelievable. He stores it in this old building that used to be a cigar factory. Really cool stuff. But, like I said, definitely worth the trip if you're in that area. Obviously, in years past, the weather's been a lot better, so there's a lot more activity days leading up. That's word that they do on Friday. They do a drive, a rally, wherever it's called. That's really cool to see, just the line of cars going. They didn't quite have so many this year because of the fact of the weather. Some people held back, but that's cool to see as well because, just seeing these people driving their cars is really cool, especially the older stuff. You get the stuff from the 60s and 70s. It's just really cool to see. But that's kind of my summary on Cavallino. Gorgeous cars, pretentious people. And hey, the sun came out, so it was a beautiful day. So in all, it came out well. I'm going to wrap it up here. I really appreciate you listening. The next episode, I want to get into talking about these YouTubers and clickbait and calling out and saying, oh, this Ferrari's that. This is, I'm not going to call people out, but you probably will figure out who I'm talking about. But there's a bunch out there that make these statements with their thumbnail or whatever, or they even in the video itself and talking, which is just totally, totally false and a blatant lie. I want to get into that because that really chafes my ass. And the problem is, a lot of people fall for it and they believe it. So they drink that juice. So they start arguing the fact, no, it's like, no. We're going to get into that in the next episode. And then, like I said, stay tuned. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll have the gentleman from the Gentleman's Garage. So hopefully I can connect with him and get him on. We're going to do that one up. We'll have Eric on board as our moderator. We're going to actually not only record that, we're going to do some video with that as well, recording it, and we'll post it up on the channel as well. So remember, guys, check out the website, the Ferrari-Marketplace.com. Hit up the exoticcarmarketplace.com. Check out gtmotorsports.org. And check out the motoringpodcast.net. Check those all out. We got a lot of cool stuff that's happening, man. 2025, we're going to blow it up. So stay tuned. Great stuff coming. See you on the flip side.
This episode has been brought to you by Gran Touring Motorsports as part of our Motoring Podcast Network. For more episodes like this, tune in each week for more exciting and educational content from organizations like the Exotic Car Marketplace, the Motoring Historian, Break Fix, and many others. If you'd like to support Gran Touring Motorsports and the Motoring Podcast Network, sign up for one of our many sponsorship tiers at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. Please note that the content, opinions, and materials presented and expressed in this episode are those of its creator, and this episode has been published with their consent. If you have any inquiries about this program, please contact the creators of this episode via email or social media as mentioned in the episode.